Welcome to The Know, I'm Brian.
And I'm Gus.
Now, normally when a company does a stream for one of its biggest franchises, you'd expect some good news, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know, like some, new games, new news. Well, in the case of Final Fantasy 15 and its publisher Square Enix, you would be 100% wrong.
Last night, Square Enix held a special stream about new content for Final Fantasy 15. While the game is almost 2 years old, the developer has been releasing steady doses of DLC for the game, and 4 more were expected through next year, with episodes centered around Ardyn, Lunafreya, Noctis, and Aranea.
Emphasis on the were expected because instead of good news, Square Enix decided to drop a bomb on us and announce that almost all of that DLC has now been canceled. Oh, and the game's director has left the company.
Why did they have a live stream for this?
Yeah, it's the weirdest, I don't know.
Blizzard's definitely going to send them a thank you note for taking the worst announcement ever title from them.
Yeah, at least you can't boo a live stream.
Well, you can, but nobody hears
That's
it.
true. Yeah, so it was a shocker to say the least. Director Hajime Tabata, he was credited with completely turning Final Fantasy 15 around after he took over in 2014. It had been in development hell for years under Tetsuya Nomura, but Tabata, he managed to right the ship, turn it into a success when it finally released in 2016. So naturally, he's leaving the company now.
See ya.
Yeah, thanks for all your hard work. Bye.
Square Enix had also put Tabata in charge of its new studio, Luminous Productions, which was tasked with working on new AAA games as well as the newest DLC for Final Fantasy 15.
Oops. But in the live stream last night, Tabata said he's left Square Enix and is going to start his own company. He's actually been gone since October 31st.
Spooky.
Yeah.
He was quoted by Jamatsu as saying, "In regards to my next endeavors and near future, I have a project that I truly wish to solidify as my next challenge after Final Fantasy 15. For that reason, I have decided to leave my current position and start my own business in order to achieve my goal."
He went on to say, as production of episode Ardyn continues and Luminous Productions works on new projects, I felt that it was time for me to hand over the torch to the next generation group of talented and trustworthy colleagues and believe they will create something amazing.
As for the DLC, it's all cancelled, except for the Ardyn episode, which takes place 30 years before the events of the main game. It'll be released in March of next year.
In a statement to Eurogamer, Square Enix said that Tabata left for that famous reason, personal reasons.
Their statement read, Hajime Tabata resigned from his role as the director of Final Fantasy 15. At the same time, he left Luminous Productions and has no further relations with Square Enix or Luminous Productions.
Square Enix went on to say, we are told that he left for personal reasons. We wish him every success for the future and will continue to cheer him on.
As for Luminous Productions, Square Enix said it was established with the goal to create a new IP, so we are continuing to develop our new title.
Meanwhile, Square Enix also announced yesterday that the last 6 months have been really, really bad from a business perspective.
Why did they have this live stream? I still don't know.
It's the weirdest, hey, everything's going shitty over here at Square Enix. Anyway, thanks for coming to our live stream.
The developer said in a statement it had incurred an extraordinary loss in the 6-month period that ended on September 30th.
How bad was it? Well, they posted a loss of $33 million, so not great.
That loss seems to be the result of Square Enix canceling all the Final Fantasy 15 DLC that Luminous was working on.
In Square Enix's words, they conducted an in-depth review of the business strategy for Luminous and decided to focus its development efforts on large-scale, high-quality AAA game titles.
See you in 15 years. The company obviously has sunk a lot of money into Luminous, which it opened in March.
Also, during the last 6 months, they did release the Switch RPG Octopath Traveler, which seemed to sell well, and it brought Dragon Quest XI to the West in September.
I bought Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, it was good.
It also released Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but that might not have sold as well as expected, which could be why they cut its price on Steam so quickly.
Overall, Square Enix said that its net sales were down 15% for the 6-month period compared to the same span last year. But again, the biggest loss of that $33 million probably from their big investment in Luminous.
VentureBeat reported that Square Enix operating income was down 61% compared to last year.
So going forward, Square Enix says it's going to follow in the footsteps of other developers and adopt subscriptions models, but it's not clear exactly which games they're talking about. Final Fantasy XIV, that's an MMO. It already has a monthly fee, but this could be some indication that they might start some sort of Origin-esque service for all its games.
Everyone loves Origin. But there are some bright spots for the company. Just Cause 4 is out next month, and then the long awaited Kingdom Hearts 3 is out in January. So hopefully they'll sell well for Square Enix's sake, because it sounds like they're a little short on cash at the moment.
All in all, it was definitely a shocking announcement from Square Enix, a sign that things aren't all good at the company right now. Square Enix definitely has a history of projects that have languished in development hell, and the fact that the guy who rescued Final Fantasy 15 is leaving the company is not a great sign.
Speaking of development hell, you know we're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
Don't expect the Final Fantasy VII remake anytime soon, despite the fact that it was announced years ago. Nomura was quoted recently as saying he'll get to work on it after Kingdom Hearts 3 is done.
So, what have they been working on? What have they been doing? Have they just been having... I don't... You know what? You can always play it on the PlayStation Classic if you just need a Final Fantasy VII fix, because honestly, that might be your best option for the next decade.
Maybe by the time the PS7 comes out.
There you go.
What do you guys think of this surprising announcement from Square Enix? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your gaming news, be sure to like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to The Know, and check out our website, theknow.tv. That's the best place to find us.
PlayStation 7, Final Fantasy 7.
Oh!
Confirmed.
Could happen.
With episodes centered around Ardyn, Lunafreya, Noctis, and Ariana.
Emphasis on...
Aranea. I fucked that up.
yeah.
That's fine. You can start with episode.
Okay.
New projects. I felt like it was time...
Years before the events of the main game, it'll be released